Hey, what's up? It's Mr. J with SciOnTheFly, the place where learning makes sense. Unfortunately, I've been hearing the term implosion a lot lately, specifically regarding the recent tragedy where they claimed the 5 victims of the adventurers that took the deep sea dive in the Remote Submersible Vehicle. Just a terrible situation. I know my kids were asking a lot of questions. I had friends and family that were also asking questions, so I thought I would offer this video as a way to hopefully explain what implosion is, how it works, and what happens, and then maybe offer a demonstration as well, as a visual to help you understand what's going on. Before I go any further, I wanted to offer my sincere condolences to the family and friends of the victims of the accident that I just mentioned. Just a terrible situation, and it's so public, and I'm so sorry. In order to understand what implosion is, you need a firm grasp of what pressure is. Have you ever felt like you were under pressure? Believe it or not, you're under a lot of pressure. In fact, you're under 15 pounds per square inch of atmospheric pressure at any given time. That means at every square inch of your body, 15 pounds of pressure is being pressed upon it. That's a lot of weight. Now, we don't really feel it because we're used to it and our bodies are kind of acclimated because that's what we live all day, every day. Now, whenever we go underwater, we're adding so much more pressure to it because now we're contending and factoring in all of the weight of the water that would be above you. And water weighs a lot more than air. In fact, whenever you get to the depths that these adventurers were going, down where the Titanic wreckage is located, you're not talking 15 pounds per square inch. Now you're talking nearly 6,000 pounds per square inch. That's why most vehicles can't make it down there. It's not because people don't want to go down there. It's because they simply can't. And that's exactly what happened. The pressure on the outside of the capsule crushed the capsule because it was greater than the pressure on the inside of the capsule. Now, let me give you a little visual. Let's take this can, all right? This can has air pressure on the inside of it and on the outside of it. This is equal pressure. It's the same pressure on the inside as it is the outside, and I know that because the can is intact, it's in shape, there's no dents, it's not crushed, right? There is equal pressure. If I could somehow take away some of the air molecules from the inside of the can, that would lessen the amount of pressure on the inside of the can, meaning that there's a greater amount of pressure on the outside of the can. If that happens, theoretically, it would crush in on itself. It would condense on itself. It would implode on itself. So how am I going to take some of that air inside of this can and get it out? I'm glad you asked. Now, it's pretty simple. All you need to do is fill up just about this much water into the can, put it on a hot plate, heat it up. As the water begins to heat up, the molecules start to expand. Soon, the water will start to boil and you'll see steam coming out the opening of the can. That's when you know it's ready. In fact, that's when you know air molecules in general, are leaving the can. There are less molecules in that can now than there were to begin with. So, what do we do next? Now, carefully, with a pair of tongs or a pair of gloves, take the can, turn it upside down, and place it into a bowl of ice water. The ice water will then cool the air molecules that are inside of the can pretty quickly. Now, whenever that happens, the air molecules will actually come together and condense. All right, that's called condensation. They'll turn back into water droplets. Whenever you do that, you're actually essentially creating a vacuum. There's less air pressure on the inside of that can at that moment than compared to the pressure on the outside of the can. And it can't hold it. So the pressure on the outside of the can will instantly crush the can because the outside pressure is greater than the inside pressure. That's all it takes. And sadly, that's kind of what happened. Hopefully this makes a little bit of sense and you'll be able to walk away knowing a little bit more about how this all works. Until next time, it's Mr. J with SciOnTheFly, the place where learning makes sense.